Wait, what is this? It looks like the second Five Nights at Freddy's movie is finally coming out. That's awesome. Hey, Miku, did you see the new Five Nights at Freddy's movie is coming out?
No, I haven't. What is this Five Nights at Freddy's thing?
You're kidding me that you don't know what it is?
I really don't know Five Nights at Freddy's.
I really thought that was impossible, but apparently, I really don't know Five Nights at Freddy's. But that's okay. Miku, I'm going to show you the new trailer the best way I know how. And that's why, in this video, we're going to recreate several scenes from the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie trailer right here in Brookhaven. And the magic is going to happen right here inside Block Studio. The idea is to literally completely modify Brookhaven based on the FNAF trailer. The place where our FNAF pizzeria is going to be is exactly in this spot. To put the pizzeria here, first we'll have to remove some things, like these old structures in Brookhaven. And look at that beauty. This spot is completely clean now. To place the items here in Brookhaven, I'm basically going to use this tool, which allows us to search for literally any item, which will definitely make our job much easier. That's why we'll try to make the pizzeria from the second game where the toy animatronics are. And a very interesting thing I found here was literally the entire FNAF 2 map. Of course, as you can see, it's a bit messed up with some very strange images, but this will make our job of recreating this map here in Brookhaven much easier.
But wouldn't it be much easier if we simply copied this entire map? Why are you going to build it from scratch?
It would certainly be easier, but I don't think it would be fair. So, if you agree with me, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Well, to start making our pizzeria, I'm going to transform this floor into this material, which is basically the floor of all the FNAF games. But as you can see, it's the wrong color, so we're going to set it to white to look exactly like this. And yes, I plan to turn all of this into a pizzeria. Of course, the first place we have to start is the entrance to our pizzeria, right? As you can see, I've already set up a wall with a door. So, basically, I'm going to place it right here so we have our entrance. Of course, I'm going to have to do some work here to have more walls to enclose this entire space. And I believe that this way we will start to have a very interesting place to make our pizzeria. Well, at least now to finish this part it's easier. We copy this entire wall and toss it over to this side. Now we just do the same thing with this wall here and fix the defects. Oh, and while I was making the walls, I noticed that this floor was too shiny, so I left it black for now, just so we can edit the map without it hurting our eyes. Hold on, we're almost done with the boring part, because I'm just going to make a small room here to be the entrance to our pizzeria, okay? And now with all this space, we can start placing our animatronics here. Well, I want to turn this wall into the party area, so I'm going to place some small tables here. And, of course, the one who stays near the tables is Chica. And, of course, here in our toolbox, we'll have Toy Chica, whose model looks really good here in Roblox. By using a different plugin here, I can even change her rig. Now you might ask what this rig is. Basically, as you can see, I can literally modify the entire pose of our chicken here, but my intention here is to make her look as normal as possible, so I'll try to fix her arm here that is floating. And with this movement, now Toy Chica is at least whole. And well, honestly, I want Chica to be right at the door, so people see her as soon as they walk in. So, I'll leave her right here. And so this place doesn't look so weird, I'm going to close off the party room so we can have a more contained space, you know? And if we need more space for the stage later, we'll deal with that. Honestly, I believe this space is already great. And now we're going to duplicate these party tables and place others right here. Honestly, I think we'll need more, so I'll put more tables like this. We will certainly have to open up more space for the stage, but I like it this way. And speaking of decorations for this room, I basically found several items here which are the stage and also some other decorations. Well, regarding the stage, I'm going to put it right here in the middle of the table so we have a good view of the audience, right? I'm clearly going to increase its size a little because I think it was too small. And honestly, I really like the result here in this spot. The only thing I'm going to do is remove a few tables because I want the tables to be a little further apart here. I'll also just pull this wall out a bit so we have a prettier and more natural wall here. Let's put a few more happy birthday banners scattered around. And of course, I'll also place some of these balloons scattered over the tables to make this place look more decorated and not so empty, right? Another decoration I grabbed here was basically these arcades, but honestly, I don't think there's space for them there, so I'm going to place them here in our waiting room in the entrance room of our pizzeria because I think it makes a little more sense. And if you really like FNAF, in addition to already liking and subscribing to the channel, you've probably noticed that something is missing in this place, right? And look, we're simply missing this stripe on the wall. As you can see, the others don't have any. And check this out. Basically, to put this stripe up, I have to place it literally piece by piece. Both the black part here, which is a separate part, and this checkered part. And of course, you must imagine that this is going to be a ton of work, right? So, basically, to put this here, I'll have to go from one side to the other like this, and also rotate 90 degrees so we can put it on this wall too. And I must confess that it really looks much nicer this way. But we'll solve that later. Well, now I'm going to open a passage in this this wall here, because basically here, we're going to make the security office. Unfortunately, the only scene in the trailer that we have about this room is precisely this one, where Michael finds Freddy's mask. Therefore, I will try to represent the office from the games here in our Brookhaven. Well, honestly, I'm going to cheat a little on this one, because I basically found the room here exactly identical to FNAF 2. And of course, this room will be at the end of the hall, because it will be the same as the room in FNAF 2. I'll just push it a little way under the ground like this. And the good thing about getting the room this way is that, basically, as you can see, it even has the ventilation ducts here, and it's certainly much better decorated than I could do. As for the hallway, I'll do it manually, because otherwise, I'll be cheating too much. So, I'll just complete this hallway like this, and duplicate this wall to make the entire hallway this way. And well, I know it's not exactly the same, but it's certainly as short as our movie hallway. I just noticed that there are arcade machines on the side. So, of course, I'm going to put some here too, to look very similar to the movie. Honestly, this doesn't look too strange. And the animatronic that will be in this room is basically Mangle, because there's all that rumor about her being responsible for the bite of 87, so I think it's only fair that we put her here in this corner. Well, since this information isn't in the movie, I'm basically going to turn this part here into the service area. Honestly, I don't remember if there's a direct vent going there, but I think it would make sense if there was. And well, basically here, now we'll have to put some kind of rotten animatronic parts, etc. And to represent that, I'm basically going to put several morphs here in this room, because this way, we'll have a room with a different kind of utility, right? And also, whoever plays our game will be able to transform into basically any animatronic from the franchise. And honestly, the number of Five Nights at Freddy's morphs here is impressive. Look at this! There are basically morphs of all kinds of creatures here. And of course, we can't forget to put the morphs of the FNAF 2 animatronics. Clearly, they're not all here, but at least the most important ones, I believe, are. Well, although I personally don't want to decorate outside here, I'm going to put the FNAF sign up here. Of course, it's not exactly like the one in the movie, but as you can see here, it's rusty, which I think serves our purpose quite well. So, I'm going to place our sign right here on top. And let's forget about the pizzeria for a moment to focus on the rest of Brookhaven. If you know me, you know that I really like to do one very important thing in all my fake Brookhaven, and that is basically putting a giant statue here in our Brookhaven. And I usually put it here on our mountain, because that way, anyone who enters this Brookhaven unaware will understand that this Brookhaven is about FNAF. And after some changes to the map, I finally realized that the sky is too bright for a FNAF thing, right? So, how about we set the sky here, all red and spooky? Speaking of which, I think this entrance here is too clean. So, I'm also going to put these little drops of ketchup, if you know what I mean, here on the floor, because basically, this way, we'll have a very bizarre thing here in our pizzeria, just like they normally are in FNAF. Seriously, look at the size of this hand. I think the animatronics turned into some kind of titan. To make it look more natural, I'm going to reduce the size of this. I'll try to spread these stamped little hands on the wall to make this spot cooler. I'm also going to put this ketchup arrow here, because it will look really good if we place it entering here like this. I'm also going to place a noob like this here. Poor guy, he was probably caught by Freddy, and look at the state he's in. Unfortunately, everything caught by the animatronics ends up like this. I think I'll only put this one more here to represent my Vanessa from the movie, right? In case you know, Vanessa is that police officer woman in the FNAF movie. With all the changes we've made here in Brookhaven, I think we're ready to test the game. And look, I just entered our game. But of course, if you like FNAF, like and subscribe to the channel so I know. And look how cool it is. Basically, I made a few small modifications out here, okay? Basically, I put this floor here, which is all checkered, which I think is really cool in FNAF. I even put it over there too. It looks really great. Of course, we can't miss seeing our giant Freddy, our toy Freddy, who is gigantic over there. Really cool too. I really like this part, and it also looks quite scary, even though I didn't put that much stuff on the outside of the map. But of course, I'm not stupid. You really want to know what's inside and how our FNAF pizzeria looks. Well, basically the entrance here is quite simple, right? As you can see, actually, the whole thing here is quite simple. It looks like a big block here, a house in Minecraft. But going in here, seriously, are you kidding me that I won't be able to enter my store? Well, I had to go to the studio to modify it, but finally, the door is open now. Oh, and one thing I forgot to show you is, of course, it's pretty silly, but I modified our lobby a little, right? Basically, I put the floor here exactly like the one in Brookhaven, like the one in FNAF, right? Pretty cool too, as I said. Well, and now finally, entering our pizzeria here, as you can see, this room here, honestly, is a bit empty. I would have liked to put more stuff, actually, but I don't know. It was a lot of work. I got tired. And entering here, basically, we have the pizzeria. This looks really cool. No, you can't say it doesn't look good, because it looks really beautiful. I really like the tables and stuff here. I wish there were more kids for us to put here in Roblox, but there aren't, unfortunately. And here I basically put the stage with Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie, okay? Fortunately, I think they don't attack, so we're pretty safe here in the middle of them. Well, coming over to this room, we now have the service area, which we created parallelly here, right? And of course, here we also have the security office. Let's start with the morphs. Basically, we have several morphs here. As you can can see, I put many different morphs, seriously, here for us to have several options. And I really want to see if all of them will work, or at least some of them, right? Because these morphs are usually quite buggy. I'll start here from the beginning, which is basically these morphs here, which are phantoms. I don't know exactly what they were supposed to be, but as you can see, they are really buggy. Look at this madness. I only got the head of the first one, and unfortunately, I can't grab any more of them. Oh, and look how cool. I just respawned here, and basically, blood came out of me. My god! I mean, ketchup fell out of my pocket, clearly. Well, going back to the morph, at least Mangle worked in a very buggy way, but it works, okay? I think all of these will work. Yeah, but as you can see, I needed something to remove the morph, right? Because, seriously, I get completely glitched. I can't grab any, but from what we can see, basically all of them here will work, okay? At least these red ones. I wanted to at least transform into Toy Freddy here, and, oh, seriously, I'm turning into a bizarre fusion here. I look like I'm playing Spider-Man and Hotman. My god. If I go over here, do I turn into this? No, unfortunately not. I get really buggy. Look at this madness. I'm all stiff here. Pretty ugly. But the cool thing is that we can do a little roleplay here of scaring the security guard, right? Because this would definitely scare someone in the middle of the night. Well, I really like the result of our map, and whether you liked it or didn't like it or hated it, whatever, comment down below so I know what I can improve for the next videos too. Thank you very much to everyone who watched the video until the end, and see you in the next video.